Good evening, my lovelies. Hopefully not too long a rant today. Going to start off on a major positive, which is a bit of a departure for me. It's just gone 8 o'clock. Well, it's about 25 past eight. 8 o'clock. We were asked to say thank you to the NHS, and we'll go out on our doorsteps and clap. The whole road, pretty much that I'm in, came out and clapped. You could hear other roads nearby, people cheering, people clapping. You could really hear it, and it was quite emotional, to be honest. And then I'm seeing loads of kind of posts on Facebook with people saying the same thing, that people came out and numbers came out. And thank God for that. These people, let's not forget, these people are risking their lives to save other people's lives. In a minute, I'm going to kind of go on a bit of a rant to do with that whole people risking their lives to save lives and other people not giving a shit. And I'm proper going to kick off in a minute. So I want to keep this as positive as I can at the moment. So it was wonderful, brilliant. Everyone came out, clapped the NHS. You know what? Let's not just do this once. Let's make this a weekly thing. Every week we should be doing this. In fact, every day, really. Because these people are our heroes. Like anyone else that's helping keeping the country going. People that are keeping the supermarket stocked so we've got food, people that are helping us in that kind of way, even the little corner shop round the corner and people like that are still keeping going so that we can keep going. These people are remarkable. However, this is where I'm going to move on to my ranting. There are certain companies and certain organisations that are taking the fucking piss out of this situation and milking it for all it's worth and putting profit over people's lives and health. There are certain shops that I look at and I think to myself, how are you fucking essential to us beating this virus? I don't want to mention names on here. A few of you will probably know who I'm talking about that do know me. There's a particular friend of mine whose shop really shouldn't be an essential in the essential category, but they've kind of wangled it around and they've kind of bent the rules to try and make themselves look like they're essential, just so they can make more money out of this. They don't sell anything that you couldn't get in a supermarket, and what they do sell is quite specialised, so it wouldn't be an essential that you need. And it's appalling that they're getting their staff to go in, and all the big bosses are at home nice and safely, not giving a shit about their staff and leaving them there with no protection, no kind of things in place to keep people 6 foot away, no hand sanitizer or anything like that. It's fucking disgusting. And there should be a way that you can report this, like if you can report people that are not doing the social distancing or going out when they shouldn't. There should be a way of reporting businesses that are breaking the rules and saying they're essential when they're not. So let's hopefully something, some legislation is going to come in to do that. I know they're looking at legislation with companies that are hiking their prices up to milk this situation for all it's worth, and hopefully they're going to get a rap on the knuckles and stop people, charging £20 for a bottle of hand sanitizer that 2 months ago cost £1.99. These fucking crooks shouldn't be allowed to do this. You shouldn't profiteer out of something as bad as what's going on now. By all means, everyone's got to make a penny. Everyone's got to earn a buck, But don't prey on people's fears about something as serious as what's going on now and mug people for their money. Money's going to be in short supply. Some people aren't going to have a job. Some people are going to get reduced wages. Some people are getting their hours reduced. It's not the time to be fucking fleecing people. And I refuse. I refuse to overpay for things. If I go in somewhere and it's too highly priced, I'll go somewhere else. I'll take the risk and go out on another trip one day and get it elsewhere. I'm kind of lucky where I am at the moment. We have three little shops, like little kind of corner shops, with two of them have whacked their prices up, but one of them's actually kind of kept the same prices as what the supermarkets are. But ironically, that's the one, when I was talking to him today, he's the one who said he's struggling the most at the moment to make a living, and that the other two shops are getting all the business. And it's like, but they're charging vastly inflated prices, and he's charging sensible prices, but he's the one that is getting no business. So what I say to you is, if you've got a little grocery shop near you or a little corner shop near you that's kind of trying to keep their head above water, they're not trying to mug you off, they're not trying to rip you off, but they're struggling, think of going there first before you go to the supermarkets. The supermarkets, they can handle what's going to happen over the next few months. They make millions, possibly billions, and they've got money in reserve. They can, I've noticed some supermarkets have put their prices up, because when I've gone out for kind of essential things like your bread, your milk and that, it's a lot dearer than it would be when I went out kind of like a couple of weeks ago. So that they're doing it kind of in a sly way. They're doing it kind of slowly increasing it. But on a positive thing, again, thanks very much to the staff of all these kind of supermarkets and the checkout staff that are having to work in very, very, very stressful conditions, and they're getting abuse for no reason whatsoever. I've mentioned this before and I'm going to say it again, and if it bores you, then tough. But when you do go through a till, when you do have someone help you in a supermarket, or you see someone stacking a shelf, obviously, first things first, keep your 6 foot away, but just say thank you. Just say thank you to these people. They're not getting extra money for doing this. They're having to work longer hours, but they're still getting the same pay. They're not getting extra money out of this, but they're getting the abuse, and they're having to kind of risk themselves because some people still aren't getting this whole social distancing thing. I've been out a couple of days this week because I had to go out to get milk and bread and essential stuff. On the whole, most people are kind of keeping to the 6 foot thing. There's other people that are just fucking walking around oblivious. Whether it's a cultural thing, whether it's a language barrier thing, that they don't quite understand what they should be doing. But it's like they're totally oblivious to the situation that's going on at the moment. They just don't get it. And they're leaning over people, and people are getting freaked out and stuff like that. We've been asked to do a couple of things in the hope that it will kind of quell the upward spiral of the virus taking hold. And they're not major things we've been asked. We're not on the same level as what China have had to do and what Italy have had to do and what Spain are currently doing. We're not nowhere near that level at the moment. We can still go out to exercise. We can go out for essential shopping. But the rest of the time we've been asked to stay in. And what have we been asked to do to stay in? Amuse yourself. Watch TV, listen to the radio, take up a hobby, go online and see if there's any new interests that can take you. It's not like we've been put in prison. We've got a world online that we can investigate to get us through this, but people are carrying on like we've been locked down on fucking Alcatraz or something. No, we haven't. It could end up that we're going to end up not being allowed to go out at all if these fucking idiots won't listen to simple instruction and still want to go out in groups and still want to do what they shouldn't be doing. I've read this evening that the £30 fine that they were going to issue is now going to be £60. And there's people kicking off about that, saying it's wrong and it's profiteering. It's not profiteering. You've got to punish these people for what they're doing. And it make people think about what they're doing first. My idea would be that any money that's made from these fines on the street, put it back in the NHS so they can afford to buy more things. Put money back into the NHS, or put it towards something that's helping the cause and helping people get better and help us get through this, and make the money a positive thing. The other thing is with these dickheads that won't do as they're told. Again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, there's no cure for fucking stupidity. These people are going to be this way. They're like this when the first snowflake hits the ground when it's snowing. They're out stripping the shelves and they're moaning and groaning about things, and they still want to travel even though it's dangerous. They're the type of people that are of this generation now, that they don't want to be told what to do. They just want to do what they want to do, how they want to do it, and don't give a shit if it upsets anyone else. It's their problem, not theirs. Unfortunately, we've got a generation me, Hopefully, this could end up kind of culling Generation Me with this. It's a harsh way to learn a lesson, and obviously it'd be great if we could have done it another way. But hopefully, going forward, the Generation Me are going to realise that actually it's not all about them. There is a bigger picture out there, and if we all do things we're asked in bigger groups, we could shave weeks, even maybe months, off of how long we've got to be careful with this virus. But they're walking around like they're fucking Superman and that they're invincible and that nothing can hurt them and nothing can kill them. And if they get the virus, they're going to get over it anyway. And anyone who can't get over it, they need to stay in and not go out. And they can still go out because they're healthy and fit. Well, not being funny, I've seen videos online of perfectly healthy people that haven't got underlying health issues suffering in hospital with this virus. It's wiped them out. So it isn't just a virus that attacks people that have already got an underlying medical condition. It can get hold of anyone. Even if your immune system's fine, it could get hold of you. But these dickheads don't get that. They seem to think they're fucking impenetrable. They're Superman. Well, they're not. They're fucking stupid. That's what they are. And we need to do something to make these people aware of that. And if fining them and being hard line with them on the streets is a thing that we need to do, then we need to do it. We can't start thinking about people's human rights when these people aren't thinking about our human rights but the way that they're behaving. Personally, I would do a fine, but I'd also be a bit more hard line with people. If people are there in a group and the police approach them and say, look, you need to disperse, and they're still refusing to disperse, taser. End of story. You taser someone, they ain't doing anything, mate. They're laying on the floor shaking and convulsing. Or get a water cannon. I've said this before as well. We've got water cannons stockpiled from the riots. Start using them. It's no different than when you're trying to deal with people that are rioting to people that are acting like this. Okay, they're not smashing the place up, but they're putting people's lives in jeopardy and they're possibly lengthening the time that people have got to stay in to stay away from this virus. So deal with these stupid morons hard line. Eventually, we don't want to go down a route where we're blocking off roads and we've got the army on the roads and everyone's got to have a piece of paper kind of confirming who they are and where they're going and why they need to go there, and if they can't go there. We don't want to go down that route. It's bloody obvious the government and Boris Johnson don't want to go down that route. They're trying everything to avoid that, but unfortunately these dickheads are probably going to end up sending us that way because they won't do the basic thing. I don't know how difficult it is to understand stay at home unless it's essential that you leave your house. Most people I know now, apart from unfortunately people with businesses that don't give a shit about their staff's health, most people now are doing some kind of work from home. There are the unfortunate people that have been laid off from work, like the Weatherspoon staff, and someone close to me. Currently, their business isn't where they work is currently shut down, and they're only going to be offered like kind of like minimum amount of hours per week. But we want to try and keep this as short as possible. It's not going to be resolved in a couple of weeks, like some people seem to think. Oh, a couple of weeks time it'll be fine. It won't. It won't be, but it will be dragged out longer by fucking morons. So we need to kind of tackle these people head on. Perhaps don't let the police deal with them. Let the army deal with them. The police do have little respect from Generation Me because Generation Me don't have any rules. They don't believe they should conform to any rules. So put the army on them. Let the army sort them out. Because I'm not being funny. A couple of community policemen striding over a park where there's a mass gathering of like these teenagers or morons that don't want to do as they're told. A couple of community policemen striding over, they're going to be, they're just literally going to get a bit of abuse and be told to fuck off. A couple of soldiers striding over in full combats, armed to the teeth, walking over. I think they're going to fucking think twice about arguing with them. And I know it's a waste of resource with the army, but sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. And I'd love to see the look on some of these dickheads' faces when they're confronted with, serving army officers telling them, get out, and them trying to argue with them. So hopefully going forward we won't need to have the kind of full on lockdown. But I think we do need to keep in the back of our mind that if dickheads continue behaving the way that they are, unfortunately we may have to go down that route to just make sure that this disease don't spread too badly. Other than that, I've checked out a couple of the kind of like online things that go on in the morning for kids, and they're great. They're really good. The PE thing in the morning with Joe Wicks is brilliant. I've seen Carol Vorderman's doing like fun maths so that kids can keep up to date with their arithmetic. Fantastic. David Walliams has put loads of his books as like the talking books online free of charge, so kids can like have a story read to them. And there's all manner of people doing stuff to keep the kids educated, which is great. There's all manner of stuff being cropped up that's been put up on YouTube and various other channels to keep people entertained. Gary Barlow is doing a thing where he's kind of having like a mini concert, but he's inviting a different artist every day to kind of duet with him. So recently he had one with Rick Astley. He's just done one with Beverly Knight, and he's got other ones coming up as well. There's other groups and artists that have said that they are going to go online and do kind of like little mini concerts for people to watch. I know there's a lot of DJs are going online and doing like virtual festivals and virtual nights of house music and stuff like that. The stuff's out there to keep you entertained. You just got to go and look for it, and it's there. It's there. This whole situation we're in at the moment isn't as bad as people are making out. I know that there are some people that they haven't got a support network around them, and getting out was their way of kind of having a release, and now they can't go out. And those people, we need to kind of look to them, and that's what these kind of volunteers for the NHS are doing. You know, another positive: 500,000 people have volunteered to help the NHS out to maybe do deliveries to people or be a buddy. And the buddy system works that okay, if you're kind of compromised by a health condition, so you can't actually go out and deliver to people just in case, you can be on the other end of the phone for someone just to talk to, for someone to talk to. So everyone can get involved in this. They only wanted 250,000 volunteers, and they've got double that, and there's still more people that are applying. So we can all do this, we can all work together. The whole country aren't arseholes. The majority of us do want to look out for each other, and we do want to get through this, and we do want to work together on this. And when we come through this, we'll all get together and we'll have a big piss up and a big party, and we'll all hug each other, and we'll all do the things that we've all missed. You know, we'll all go and eat fish and chips because we can't get fish and chips. You know, we'll go and sit in a restaurant and sit in a pub when all this is over. We'll all talk to each other and hug each other and say, you know, it was a tough time, but we got through it. And then the fuckers that were trying to ruin it, just ostracise them, just say to them, do you know what, you weren't there when we needed you, so we don't need you now. The rest of the country can carry on looking after ourselves like we were before, all looking out for each other, and you lot can fucking jog on. Okay, I'm going to go now because I thought I was going to do a quick rant, but it's gone on kind of a little bit longer than I thought. Goes without saying, stay healthy, stay safe. We will get through this. We will beat this virus, and we will move on from this, and we will look back on this, and it'll be something that we'll look back on and go, it was horrible, but we did get through it all. If you've got any ideas for things you'd like to hear me rant about, jump on my Facebook page and make the suggestions there. Please, please, please go to YouTube and like the videos that I'm putting up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a lot easier putting the videos on YouTube than it is trying to upload them onto Facebook. And just a bit of appreciation. If you don't like what I'm doing, tell me why you don't like what I'm doing. If there's things that you don't like me doing, tell me. If there's things you'd like to see me do, if you've got new ideas for me for what to do, feel free to suggest it. I'm open to any, I'm open to ideas on this. Other than that, have a good evening, people. Look out for yourself. Look out for everyone else. Cheerio, my lovelies.